A new study about the total number of people killed by law enforcement officers reveals more proof on the racial profiling against the black community in the United States. The survey conducted by The Guardian shows that U.S. police officers killed 1,134 people in 2015. Findings also show that young black men were 9 times more likely than other Americans to be killed by police officers. Black males between the ages of 15 and 34 make up just 2% of the total U.S. population. Police killings, especially of African Americans, have sparked mass protests throughout the U.S. over the past 2 years. Press City correspondent Caleb Maupin says the structure of the U.S. society has denied humanity of African Americans. Let's take a listen.
As we've seen demonstrated time and time again, most recently in Cleveland, Ohio, the courts will not hold police officers accountable if they kill African Americans wrongfully. Police officers have essentially been given a license to kill. And if they take the life of an African American, the courts will simply allow them to be on the streets the next day. And because there's not an accountability and because there's no consequence for this action, we see it being repeated over and over and over again. Let's keep in mind that in the United States, the life expectancy for African Americans overall is much lower. The access to health care is much lower. The rates of poverty are much higher. And overall, there's a pattern of racism in U.S. society. African Americans are demonized. Young African American men in particular are portrayed as dangerous and criminal. The issue isn't that there's a lack of record of what's taking place. The issue isn't that there's a lack of publicity, but yet it continues to happen. And it seems that on some level, the structure of U.S. society has denied the humanity of African Americans and basically said that an African American life doesn't have the same value as the life of a white person or the life of a police officer or the life of anyone else. Billions of dollars are made each year from locking people in jail, as well as supplying police officers with the crazy high-tech weapons we've seen in places like Ferguson, Missouri. And as the economy in the U.S. is just crumbling and as there's mass unemployment, they've discovered that police and law enforcement and killing people and locking them in jail is a way to make money for a lot of big corporations. And if this isn't addressed, the fact that black men are being murdered by the police so routinely is not going to change.